All right, ceramic 2 students, we're finishing the mug today. Unfortunately, I had to do most of this at home because, well, we had, snow day. Then on top of that, we had, the 4-day weekend. So here we go. um, I have started my carvings. All right, I've started my carvings. I've added a lot more dimension in here. I've added some texture onto the fox. Can you see the texture? Maybe that's a little better. You can kind of see that it's not just flat, okay? And then I've got my little mushrooms, and I went through and I carved away all of the space. So like if you look at the sides of the mushrooms, they actually pop out, okay? Did that with all the mushrooms. I reduced some of the body or the stem of the mushroom as well. What I'm going to do now, which I've got to actually hold on to it so I don't snap the darn, what do you call it, handle. I want to come through here and I want to give some texture on my little fox face, okay? So I'm going to just take, and you can use a toothpick for this if you've got some tools at home, figure out what works best for you, because everybody has different tools. Some of you went out and bought your own, and kudos to you people, that's awesome. So, you're basically just going through, you're adding some textures. I just want these to be a little more subtle than really pronounced, because I've got other areas that are more pronounced, and that's fine. So I've come through here and I've given some textures to here, the whole little body. And I just want the glaze to catch in those zones. Okay. Fur. Here's his tail. Unfortunately, my Elmo, as we all know, is not that great. Does not give me the clearest of details, but you can tell that I am putting textures in. They are going to be subtle. I'm not looking for them to be super, super, super deep, okay? There are other areas, variety is what's the most important thing. And I want to have variety on this. Okay, so I blow away that. You can see, you can see it on the head a little bit better. Can't see it as well on the body, and I'll go back through and I'll make sure that I've got, that good enough. Okay, but goal is you're not going to have crumbles all over the place. So we've got the texture, but we don't have the crumbles. We don't want the crumbles. The crumbles are bad because what happens when the crumbles are there, they get sharp. We don't want those. Okay, so that's pretty good like that. I'm going to actually keep this all relatively straight, not straight, but unblemished. I'm going to go through and I'm going to paint that with underglazes. And I've got these looking pretty good right here. I've got this right here. Got my mushroom right here. So I've gone through and done most of it. I even flipped it upside down and I came through and I created textures underneath the mushroom too, because, well, you might as well, right? I just think that looks really cool. All right, I also need to make sure that my name is on here, okay? So I'm going to do, for this, because, they could be really long, your name could be really, last name could be really long. I'm just going to use a pencil for this. See how it's all flaking away? That's what we want, guys. Firm, leather, hard. It should easily, go away. Make sure at this stage, you have your name on it, please and thank you. At least your initials, first and last, please and thank you. It makes it a million times easier for me to actually grade things when I can see a name. Just please make sure it's deep enough, guys. You have to go through it a couple of times to get it to where you can see it. Okay, I'm going to put the year that I made this too, because, well, I just like to do that. And then I'm going to make sure that 21. Just go through. Here we go, PR. And I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna use, oh, the other thing that I wanted to tell you, if you have like spots that are like, you can still see score marks and stuff, which I just did this without showing you, but I came through and I used a paintbrush and I just went like this, just to smooth up some of those areas that like look a little rough. And I'm gonna do this down here. Okay. Make sure even the bottom of your project looks relatively finished, guys. You don't want it to look you know, unfinished. Okay. If you're gonna take the time to do this, take the time and do it right, because well, you'll find that in the end, when the whole thing looks beautiful, it just looks better. Okay. You know, I'm being picky. I can't help it. I just want you guys to be awesome. I want you to have something that in 10 years you can say, yeah, I made that when I was in high school. And you're actually like using it, because that would be just downright cool. All right. I do need to come through here. The last thing I just noticed when I flipped it over was that my feet don't look all that. I mean, they look okay, but I do need to go through and just clean up just a little bit, not a whole bunch, but just a tiny bit. And then I'll be done. So when you guys are done, what do you need to do? Okay, this is important. Make sure your name is on your project. Okay, your name must be on your project, like your initials. Okay. You need to submit at least a couple of good photos of your project so I can say, yep, it's done. This is going on this quarter, okay? Meaning this third 9 weeks. So that means I need you to, A, bring your project in so I can fire it. If you don't bring your project in, I can't fire it. And you're going to get a 10 points for submitting a photo of it. But if you don't bring your project in at all, you're gonna fail the project. Okay. So when you bring the project in, please make sure you don't damage it on the way in. You need to be extremely careful. I'm gonna have the cart down there. You can only drop it off on Wednesdays because that's the only day that I don't have students in school. Okay. So you know there are directions on the thing telling you what days. It's only Wednesdays through this quarter. You don't get it in, guys, I can't give you credit for it because gosh darn it, I have to see that you actually constructed it properly. And just because I give you like 10 points for submitting your photo doesn't mean you're going to get it 100%. It just means that you submitted a photo. And some of you, I've only given you 8 points because, well, I would say that it didn't look that good. Okay, so if you're not getting 10 points on your photos, you definitely need to read my instructions and how you might want to adjust that project because, well, I'm going to be extra picky with you guys because, well, you're my twos and gosh darn it, you should know better than turn something in that doesn't look all that good. Okay, so there's that. That's pretty good now. Oops, I just got a piece of grime in there, right there, from when I was doing that. I'm going to knock that out. You don't want that to stay. Okay, so it's done. Remember, you can use a paintbrush to smooth things up if they get like, crunchy looking. I've got textures on there. I've got textures on there. I'm going to paint this background area. I've got decorations. My interior looks pretty darn nice. There's no like big old fingernail marks or it's smooth. Okay, guys, we're looking for relatively smooth. Okay, my handle. Ooh, I do need to do my handle. I totally forgot about that. My handle is unadorned because, well, I did a lot with the body of the piece. So you know what? If you have a decorative body, your handle can be fairly simple. All right. Make sure that your connections look good right here, and that's it. That's all we've got for this. Make it awesome. Make it cool. Don't be basic. Nobody likes a basic person, right? Everybody wants to be something a little extra special. So be extra special with your project and turn something in that's amazing, that you're proud of, that you can say, you know what, I made this. I'm awesome. Okay. Be awesome today, people. Have a good one.